Hello and welcome to Ames in Focus. I'm Bill Gebhart with Communications and Outreach at the City of Ames, and today we're talking about something that involves water, swimsuits, and probably at least one kid asking if they can go down the slide just one more time. The city has been working on a major project that many residents have been watching take shape, the Fitch Family Indoor Aquatic Center. When it opens, it'll give Ames something we haven't had in quite a while, a place to swim, exercise, and enjoy aquatic recreation all year long. To help us dive into all the details, I'm joined by Keith Abraham, Director of Ames Parks and Recreation. Keith, welcome to Ames in Focus.
Well, welcome, Bill. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. We're super glad to have you here. Since this is your first time on the podcast, this is something we do with all first-timers. Can you tell us a little bit about your background, what led you into a career in Parks and Recreation, and how you got to Ames?
Yeah. So I was into sports when I was a kid, and my dad, give him a lot of credit. My dad was in an athletic club. He umpired, he coached, he played different athletic activities. So I was around it a lot, and through him, I was able to start getting involved with different activities. He would run softball tournaments. He would put me in charge of all the scorekeepers. I'd pick all tournament teams, check batting averages, all those kinds of things. So I knew when I was in high school that this is what I wanted to do. Someday I wanted to be a Parks and Recreation director. Little side note, one of my nicknames in high school, my friends called me AC.
What was that?
Activity coordinator.
Activity coordinator. Okay.
They'd say, AC, what are we doing this weekend? AC, what do we got coming up? So it just kind of just my personality. I do like organizing things. Love to provide fun activities for people. So went to school, Winona State University in Minnesota. Played football there for 4 years. Coached for 2 years. And then I got a degree, bachelor's degree in recreation administration and a bachelor's degree in business administration. Started off with the Sheboygan Area School District Community Recreation Department. Worked there for 7 years, and then I wanted to move on to kind of advance my career, and the job came up in Ames. So I applied, I got the job, and I've been here now. It'll be 32 years in August. Started out as recreation supervisor, moved to recreation superintendent, and now I've been director since 2013.
That's great. Yeah. And there's just been some major changes in Parks and Rec since you've been here too. I mean, even in the short time that I've been with the city, which is about 5 years, there's been lots of changes just in that. So lots of work being done. Yeah.
We continually grow. Our park system has grown. I think when I took over in 2013, we were maybe at about 35 parks. We're at 41 now. And the amenities, whether it's the Miracle Playground up at Innis Grove Park or the agility course or the mini pitch, and now with the Fitch Family Indoor Aquatic Center, continually trying to add amenities that the public wants and use to get outside and be healthy.
Absolutely. And we love those changes as well. We love the way that we see it growing. But you brought it up, so let's talk about this big project that people have been watching rise from the ground up over the last year, the Fitch Family Indoor Aquatic Center. So for someone that's driven by the construction site but doesn't know all the details, what exactly is this facility and what role will it play in the Parks and Recreation system?
Yeah. So we, for a long time, starting off in the 1960s, we had the municipal pool.
At the high school, right?
It was at the high school. It was owned by the city on school district property, and then the city and the school district shared operational expenses 50-50 for maintaining it. So when the high school looked at building a new, or when the school district looked at building a new high school, they were adding a pool to it, and they went more with the competitive side. Parks and Recreation looking at more the recreational components. So with the Fitch Family Indoor Aquatic Center, it really gives us that recreational aquatic facility. You'll hear me talk about natatorium. Natatorium is the pool aspect of the facility. So we'll probably get into this a little bit later, but we'll get into the different details. But we have the natatorium, but then we also have a non-natatorium. So what it will do is it will provide people year-round swimming opportunities for a variety of activities, But people will be able to, in the wintertime, they'll be able to continue swimming, doing something that they enjoy. It's a lifelong sport. We really encourage people to do that. And there are some other things that we'll talk about in a little bit that are included.
And so the biggest difference, I guess, is that while the high school went for the competitive route, we kind of more went for a Furman Aquatic Center, but inside.
Yeah, it's a good way. Yeah, it's a good way to look at that. The one thing that we have is we only have so much space on the sides, 4 acres, so it's not overly huge. So with Furman Aquatic Center, we have the rec pool, and then we have the lazy river. Here, those two are combined.
Right.
It's the rec pool and the lazy, or the current channel is what we call it. And then this has a wellness pool, which wellness pool will be 90-degree water and really used for a lot of different activities. So it is kind of that, but there is the dry land activities too, with the multipurpose room and the walking area and so on. So it's more than just an aquatic facility.
And a lap pool as well, right?
Yes.
And so basically there's 3 pool basins that'll be in the Fitch Family Indoor Aquatic Center?
Yes. Yeah, we have a 25-yard, 6-lane lap pool. And with that one, it will be used for lap swimming, swim lessons, just open swim. We have a basketball hoop along one of the sides. We have volleyball standards that we can play water volleyball. So a lot of different activities in there. That water temperature will be about 84 degrees.
Okay.
Then we have the rec pool, which will be a zero depth entry pool. Which is safe for the younger ones. There'll be a play structure in that zero depth entry area, and then it'll go down to about 42 inches of water depth, and that'll be for the current channel. So that'll be for water walking. It's a lot smaller than what's at Furman, but it's what we could fit into the facility.
Right.
That temperature will be about 87 degrees. And then we have the wellness pool, the Mary Greeley Medical Center wellness pool. And in that one, the temperature will be 90 degrees, and that will be used for aqua classes. We'll be able to do parent-child swim classes, which the little ones will love it. They'll be able to go in there. They won't have blue lips when they're done,
right?
Which will be great. But then they'll also have opportunities for individual exercise where we may have it open. People may want to just go hold off to the side, do some exercises, do some different things, and they can kind of do their things on their own. And one of the things, too, is that pool could be rented. There might be some therapy clinics in town that might want to do some aquatic therapy. They could rent a facility or rent that basin at different times throughout the week and do therapy there as well.
And so that wellness pool is more like, I guess for lack of a better term, is more a quieter pool. It's where people will be working out and doing some things. My kids won't be jumping into that one with a cannonball.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. Yep. That one is the deepest area is about 54 inches. So it's much more for individual types of activities. But with the lap pool, one thing I didn't mention, that goes from 42 inches on one end to 9 feet on the other end. But there are no starting blocks. There are no diving boards. But people have asked me, well, if there's no diving board, why do you have it 9 feet depth of water? And with that, it's because we teach swimming lessons, and some of our levels we have to teach diving from the side, and we need 9 feet of water to be able to teach those that diving off the side. So then we can continue to do all the different levels of swim lessons.
And the depth probably also helps with lifeguard training, which is something I know we're always doing, right?
Yep. We can never get enough lifeguards.
Absolutely.
And we started lifeguard certifications and swim instructor certifications earlier in the month in March, and we'll continue to do those up until Furman opens.
Absolutely. And then, just a shout out, we can always use more lifeguards. Now we have more pools. We need more lifeguards too,
That's right?
Okay, so this facility was clearly designed for more than just casual swimming. You talked about the wellness, you talked about water walking, but can you talk about some of the additional spaces that the building is going to have for programming, events, other activities?
I think one thing that people will see when they walk in, I think there'll be a little bit of a wow factor when you come in. We'll have the control desk just to the right, but you'll be able to see we have glass that opens up right into the natatorium. So you'll be able to see right into the pool. So that's kind of a neat thing. We'll have some fun furniture in the lobby area. People can sit and so on. But to the left, when you walk in, what you'll see is a walking area. And some people call it a walking track. It's about 18 laps to a mile, so not super long. But that activity will be at no cost. So if somebody wanted to come in and walk at any time, they'll be able to come in and hey, I'm just going to walk. That's absolutely fine. You can do that. But inside of that walking area, they'll see 4 walls, and that is our multipurpose area. It's one large room. It has a divider. It can be split into 2 rooms, and we will have fitness classes, group fitness classes. We'll have youth activities, maybe youth dance. We'll have a variety of different activities in there. But that space could also, if we had a public input meeting, we could hold that there. We'd have seating up to about 140 people if we do theater style, maybe about 50 to 70 on either half. One of the other things with that is we do have cameras on both halves of the multipurpose room. So we still have people that are wanting virtual classes or participate in our fitness classes virtually. So we will be able to stream those classes like we have been doing. And then we also have a wet classroom party room is what we call it. And that's right adjacent to the natatorium, glass. So when you're in there, you'll be able to see into the natatorium. And that one could have a small meeting. We're using it for lifeguard certifications, any of those types of things that we need to certify people on, or get in the water, get out of the water, back and forth. But then we also can have a divider in there. We can split that room into 2, and we'll rent that out for birthday parties, and we'll have birthday party packages and so on. So yeah, there is more to it than just the aquatics.
And I was glad you brought up birthday parties, because I guarantee you my 7-year-old will be like, that's where my birthday is going to be, is at Fitch Family Indoor Aquatic Center. She'll be all about that.
Hey, that'll be great.
And so it sounds like there's a lot of things to do. It's not just about swimming. It's about recreation, right? There's the walking path, walking trail, as you said, the path. But there's also places for meetings and other things, other types of activities that you'll be able to stream from the multipurpose room or attend at the multipurpose room, things like that.
Correct.
But one of the things people definitely notice when they're driving by on Lincoln Way is that slide. So there's a slide in there?
There is a slide, and it's a body slide.
Okay.
We didn't have enough space to do a tube slide or have tubes in the lazy river, so we don't have any of those. But it is a body slide. It is kind of neat when you come in, when you're in the facility. You'll walk up the stairs, get to the top, and really all you'll see is a hole in the wall.
Okay.
And kind of maybe for some people is a trust factor, but you're just going to jump in that hole and hopefully you spit out the other end. But you go outside, and this was a space saving thing, a cost saving measure. You put the slide outside, you don't have to put a building around it. So you go out there, you do your little twirly-doos, and then you come back in, and then you come in what's called a run out. And you splash into that run out, and you get out, and then somebody else comes down. So we actually have had some people give that a try, because we've had to test how much water flow and everything, and everybody that's gone down it has absolutely loved it.
I can guarantee, again, I keep talking about my daughter, but I can guarantee you she will just be going on a loop on that thing for a long time. So definitely wanted to make sure we mentioned that. When are we opening the Fitch Family Indoor Aquatic Center?
Yeah. With we're hoping, what we're looking for is probably that first week of April. Is what we're doing. So about a week from today. Okay. This is March 31st, so a week from today, something like that is what we're looking for. So not set in stone yet, but that's our aim. That's our goal. Correct. Okay. So what would keep it from opening at that point? Like, what are we waiting for? Well, we have to make sure there still are some things that the contractors are working on. One of the big things that we don't have finalized yet is some of the AV. Right up your alley. Yes, right. Yeah, if you need my help, let me know. So the AV, the TVs, just how all of that system works. Access control, they're still working through that. We don't have that. We're going to be keyless. keyless access. So some of that stuff is still needing to be done. We already have had a state inspection. The state inspector came in and looked at all the aquatic stuff, has given us the go ahead. There are a few things that we need to kind of shore up, and we'll have the county inspector will come back within the next week and take a look and make sure that we have all of that stuff completed. And then there's still a few little things that need to be done outside, but we're okay with that. With the southwest corner, we have to dig a hole for a retention basin. So some of that kind of stuff, that's not going to hold us up. But then once we have all those things done, then we got to have time to be able to train all of our staff. So we're doing, like I've mentioned already, we're doing certifications for lifeguards. So we just need to make sure that then not only do we certify them as a lifeguard, but then we've got to kind of get them in. Here's where you're going to be. This is how the rotation works. This is how the mechanical equipment works. For those have to know that. Here's how all of the registration and reservation and point of sale stuff works. We got to train everybody on those things and make sure that they're comfortable with that before we open. So those are some of the things that I know people have already asked. We put some pictures out on
with a pool being filled.
Yeah,
right?
The pool filled is like, well, why isn't it open? Well, there's a lot more to it than just putting water in the basins and say, come in and swim.
Absolutely, we need to make sure we're ready and make sure that our team is ready to help all people that are coming in to swim.
Yep,
I agree with that. So. Let's talk about something that people always want to know about. That's pricing. So if someone wants to stop in for a swim, what will daily admission look like?
Yeah. So we'll have a couple of different options for people to pay. Daily admission obviously is one. Come in one time, you can pay your daily admission. We will have several different price points. So adults will pay $7 for a daily admission. The 60 plus will pay $6.50. ISU students will pay $6.50, and youth will pay $6.
Okay.
And one of the things based off of the daily admissions, we do have punch cards. Where what we do is if somebody wants to purchase a punch card, they'll get 12 daily admissions for the cost of 11.
Okay.
So they get one free in there. And then we just give them a fob, and then they just swipe their fob. And when it gets down to, Bill, you only have 2 punches left, then you can add more to it if that's the way you want to go. Yeah,
and that's similar to the way that they do that at Furman or even in the weight room and gym downstairs in City Hall.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct. And we can put, and with this too, is if they already have a fob, we can add, the Fitch pass to that fob. So they don't have to carry around a different fob for each facility. And then I should mention too is we do have non-resident rates, which are generally $1 more. Okay. For the daily admissions.
So you mentioned a pass, and so I already mentioned my 7-year-old who is definitely 12 times is not going to be enough. And so what are the different types of passes that we can get for Fitch?
Yeah. So we'll have the same thing for Fitch and for Furman Aquatic Center. We'll have a pass for each one of those facilities, but then we'll also have an aquatics facility pass, which will get you into Furman and Fitch. So
that sounds right up her alley, though.
Yeah. We're hoping a lot of people want to do this. You do this year round. So we'll have some of the same passes: the adult, the 60 plus, the ISU, and the youth. With season passes, what we do is we also have a household pass.
Okay.
We used to call it a family pass. Now we're calling it a household pass because households have changed over time. And it's not just always a family. We might have mom and dad and a couple of kids, and grandma lives with them, or maybe you have boyfriend, girlfriend with kids from one of the two, and so we've gone to a household. But the household pass, one of the changes that we have this year is it'll be good for 2 adults and 3 kids or 3 youth, and youth is 3 to 15 or 1 to 15, and so if you have more than that. What you do is you add, and then it's a kind of a nominal cost. To add a youth is, I think, $25 or something along those lines. And I'm not going to go through the cost of each one of those. People will be able to go to our website and find what the different costs for the different passes are. But really, so with it, so the Furman Pass will be good for the summer season of 26.
Okay.
And if you purchase that pass before May 1st, you'll get a 5% discount for that pass.
Okay.
So the Fitch Pass will be good from basically the day after Labor Day of 2026 to the Friday before Memorial Day of 2027. So that'll be that Fitch season. If you purchase that pass before August 1st, you'll get a 5% discount.
Okay.
And then the Aquatic Pass that we have, the Aquatic Facility Pass, will be good for Furman. So basically Memorial Day weekend through almost up to Memorial Day weekend of 2027, because then you'll get Furman plus Fitch. If you purchase that pass, you'll get a 15% discount. And,
Okay.
And what we're doing for this first year, seeing as we're opening sometime in April, if you purchase that Aquatics Facilities Pass, what we're going to do is we're going to throw April and May in as a bonus.
At Fitch.
At Fitch.
Okay.
Yep.
Bonus months.
Yep. So two bonus months. So this is all on our website. People will can go there, get that information and see what it looks like. So we already have people that are like, yeah, hey, as soon as they're ready, which they've been ready to go since the 23rd, we can purchase the passes. We had people early in the month tell me once they're ready to go, hey, I'm buying an aquatic facility pass.
Yeah. No, and that's my family too. So right after this, I'm going to call my wife and we're going to get ours today since we missed it last week. So as we're talking about all of these passes, you're talking about Furman passes and Fitch passes and Aquatics passes. What was that website where people can go to get those prices?
They can go to cityofames.org/aquatics.
Okay.
And that will take you to our aquatics page. And then there's Furman, there's Fitch, and there's other information that they'll be able to find.
For whichever pass you'd like to go, it probably also has the daily rates, things like that, or punch cards.
Correct.
Okay.
Yep.
So a lot of people in Ames already love the Furman Aquatic Center, which has been a summer favorite for years for my family. I know that. So how will this new Fitch facility work together with Furman, or is it just replacing it?
No, it's a complement.
Okay.
Because because Furman's only open for basically 14 weeks out of the year.
It's a summer thing.
And Fitch is going to be open for 38 weeks for a majority of things. So one of the things that we're going to be able to do is all of our swimming lessons are now going to be held at Fitch. So in the summertime, in the fall, the winter, spring, all year round, all of our swimming lessons will be held at Fitch.
Okay.
So that does a couple of things. What it does is it eliminates classes being canceled. It eliminates the blue lips being out there when it's 60 degrees and some of those mornings that may have to go. But what it also does is when we have swim lessons in the evenings at Fitch, then we won't have to close open swim at Furman. So prior to municipal pool being closed, we always had Furman was open with open swim until pretty much 8 o'clock all the time. When municipal pool closed, we started offering swim lessons. So either on Monday, Wednesday, or Tuesday, Thursday, then we were closing at 5:30. With open swim. So it'll give back some open swim time at Furman. Now, one of the things that we have experienced, if people have been following, not only in Ames, but across the state and across the country, there's a lifeguard shortage, and there has been for quite a while.
Yeah, we've had Leanne on, and that's what we talk about every time.
Yep, and so we're always looking for guards. So one of the things that we want to do is we will not have Fitch and Furman open at the same time.
Right.
It's just not feasible to staff it. So that's one of the big changes, like in the summertime. Initially, we thought maybe we'd be able to do it, but we aren't going to be able to do that. So Furman in the summertime, Fitch, year round, or really that kind of school year season is when it will be open. Now, in the summertime, if it's 10 o'clock in the morning, we know it's only going to be a high of 62 degrees today. We're not going to open for open swim. We can say, you know what, we'll open Fitch for open swim today because of the weather. and we'll do that. So those would be things, and we'll get that out on Facebook and through our hotline and everything else.
People shouldn't assume those. They should definitely look at, especially the Furman Aquatic Center Facebook page, because that's where the schedule of activities, that's where the cancellation would be if they weren't going to open it. That's where they'll also mark if they're going to be somewhere else.
Correct.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. So then talking about this whole thing, so accessibility is an important part of modern recreation, and I know you know that better than anyone, right? So what kind of features are built into this facility to make sure it's welcoming and accessible to everyone?
Yeah, it starts, I would say it starts with the parking, right? All of our we have a lot of accessible parking spots, and those are right outside the entrance.
The main entrance, yeah.
Yep, the main entrance. To be able to come, you'll be able to park. And then one of the other things that we have is we actually have with the parking, when you come in, if you're in a mobility device or use an assistive device, what you do is the parking lot and getting into the facility, it's all at one level. You don't have to go up a curb. So that was something that we did as well. We have heated sidewalks right outside the main entrance. So if we get like yesterday, we could flip the switch on. It stays dry.
Keep it clear
and things. So we have the automatic door openers to get into the facility, to exit the facility, to get into the changing room corridor. So there's those types of items. We do have when I was just talking about, we call it the universal changing rooms. Those rooms, we have 6 of them in a hallway, and with those, 4 of them are a little smaller. They have a stool, a sink, and an infant style change table. So that could be used for families or for individuals. But then we have 2 of them that have an adult size motorized changing table, something that can be raised and lowered. And that's something that we've heard, over time. So we have 2 of those. One of those 2 rooms actually has a roll-in shower. So if somebody, they're pretty much on their own, they can go roll into the shower, they can shower themselves, come back out, and things. So that's something that we have done. In the pool or the natatorium, in those basins, each one of them has an ADA compliant lift, and ADA is Americans with Disabilities Act. So each one of them has a lift on the basin. They either have a ramp or the zero depth entry, so people can get in. We have, if people need the assistance, we have an aquatic wheelchair that people could use to get in and out of the basins as well. So just a lot of things have gone into this. Some of our lockers, portion of the lockers are ADA compliant. So sometimes, and you see those, there's not a bench in front of them. So people could just get right up to them and use those lockers without that extra obstacle. So there's a lot of those types of things that have gone into the planning. And
so definitely sounds like we've made this so that it can be accessible to any person.
Correct.
Right. And I think that's great. Okay. So before we wrap up the main part of the conversation, what is one part of this project that you personally are most excited for the community to experience?
Well, I think for me, it's having options. All right. You can come with your family, and one person can be doing water walking, one person could be doing a swim lesson, or could be lap swimming, or playing in the playground, or the play structure that's in the zero depth entry. So I think that's probably one of the things is options. And we didn't try to do a one size fits all. That just wasn't going to work from what we have heard. So we have the different water temperatures, we have the different basins, we have the different functions of each, and really tried to give people options so they could do what they want to do when they're there.
Right. And it's not just a pool. It's a pool that gives people the chance to do the things however they want to participate in their recreational swimming.
Correct.
I think that's great. Okay, Keith. So This season, we've been ending every episode with some rapid fire questions. You're not allowed to overthink it. You just got to tell me what you're thinking, okay? So are you ready for it?
I'm ready.
Okay, so here's the first one. Are you an early morning lap swim kind of guy or a swim late into the evening kind of guy?
Early morning lap swim. I'd get up at 5 and go swimming before doing it at the end of the day.
Okay. All right, so what is one aquatic activity that people might be surprised to find out that they enjoy?
I think water walking is something that we have had a ton of success with. But I think one thing that sometimes scares people is kayaking.
Okay.
Now you may think indoor. We actually have had some conversations with the local paddlers club about maybe doing some kayaking classes in the wintertime.
Yeah.
Just to get them prepared. But it's a lot easier than what people think, and it's once you're out there on the water, it's a great activity.
And I did say aquatic activity, so Ada Hayden has its kayak launch and all of that stuff too. So you are well within your answer. So
all right,
okay. And then so finally, what is one thing that you hope every Ames resident feels when they walk into the Fitch Family Indoor Aquatic Center for the first time?
Welcome.
Yeah. No, I think that's great.
I hope they feel welcome and included.
Good. No, I think that's great. Well, Keith, thank you so much for joining us today and giving us a preview of what's coming with the Fitch Family Indoor Aquatic Center.
Thanks for having me, Bill.
Absolutely. It is exciting to see a project like this take shape and imagine the ways it'll serve the community for years to come. So if you would like to learn more about the facility, including amenities, programming, pass options, you can visit cityofames.org/aquatics, or you can visit amesparkrec.org and get the updates. Thanks for tuning in to Ames in Focus, and we will see you next time.
Ames in Focus is a City of Ames podcast.